Hello again guys, and welcome to another video with me drawing Sam Jackson. Originally I wanted Wesley Snipes for this. I've been wanting to draw Blade for years, but I just couldn't find the right reference photo because I've got a certain idea in my head on how I want it to look. And you know how the Pinterest that works, basically when you start searching for one thing, other things pop up. And I settled on this reference photo of Sam Jackson, and I loved it because of the facial expression that he's pulling. It really speaks to his personality, at least in the movies it does, and I just really wanted to draw it to kind of fall in love with it straight away. This has taken me about 2.5 months to finish because there's a lot of skin texture involved with this. If you go back to my previous video, I showed you how I did a bit of skin texture on his left cheek, and basically if you watch that video, that little tiny bit is about 40 minutes long. You got to think I'm doing that for the entire A3 portrait of Sam Jackson, but it's turned out great, so I'm really happy. Knowing that I was going to take on this epic skin texture adventure, I decided to be picky about my paper. So I decided to pick a paper that had a lot of tooth, because I didn't really want to make the mistakes that I made with Judge Dredd, where I couldn't layer and layer and layer because of the paper, because skin texture takes a lot of layers to create the look that you want, the look of realism. So I settled on a Strathmore Bristol Vellum 500 series, which is a very nice paper. And at first I was a bit apprehensive with it, because it does take a lot of layering and a lot of heavy-handed blending to get it to smooth out. So I don't think I really recommend it for portraits of women with smooth skin, for example. I think it would take a lot of work, but if you're willing to put the time in to constantly layer down them pencils to get the smooth look that you want, it's a very beautiful paper. As you know, well, I suppose if you're new to the channel you wouldn't, but as you know, I only used Derwent Lightfast coloured pencil for my colour portraits. I have got other things, but I always go back to them, and I use a set of 100, and the set of 100 has got a great range of burgundies and browns, and that's basically what I grabbed. Again, if you go back to the previous video where I showed you how to do a bit of this, I showed you that I used like a swatching system where I colour picked out of the reference photo to find the right colours, or find myself a near perfect match. Sometimes you have to blend them together to get what you want, and that's basically what I did. In terms of the colours, it's basically a bunch of different burgundies and browns, some browny blacks as well, and I will leave a list in the description for you of every single colour that I use, so that you can have a go for yourself, and please let me know if it works out. That would be great. But despite all that, the main colour that I used was Dusky Pink, believe it or not. Everywhere where you see light kind of reflecting off the face was Dusky Pink, and I couldn't believe it either. When I was doing the colour swatches in Photoshop, Dusky Pink for that particular area was a near perfect match. It blends into a Selena, well, that is called Selena in the Lightfast range, which is like a tan colour, then into the burgundies. So right now, my Dusky Pink colour, the pencil is dead, so we're going to have to buy another one. I was looking forward to drawing the side of his face, his right hand side or your left, from the position that you're watching the video in, because I don't know if you can notice he's got these two moles or skin tags or whatever, and it's because his skin texture is different down there. It's quite smooth around the two moles, so I knew it would be good training for when I got to the lips, and you'll see why when you get there, that his top lip has got a lot of creases inside it, and my Achilles heel and everything that I draw is lips. I'm never satisfied. I can never get them how I want them, and I really wanted to draw them to such a high detail. and I had a problem where in my initial colour swatching I couldn't come up with the right combination of colours, so it took a lot of practice colouring on dummy pieces of paper to get what I wanted, and turned out in the end that it was the chocolate colour and the ruby earth colour with a bit of Mars black. It turned out alright in the end, so, and I would say that they're the best lips I've actually coloured in so far, so I'm happy. Something else that I think should really get a mention in my tool set is my craft knife. I use one by a company called Slice. It's like a ceramic bladed knife, but it doesn't really matter, you can just use a normal craft knife. You might have seen it pop in and out on this video, it's got an orange cap on it, and I have done previous videos in the past. I think I did a video entirely on it, on how to draw hair with it, and the reason why I think it should get a mention is because sometimes you can overcolour into areas that you want to keep completely white. Like, you think you're doing the right thing and then you'll step back, come back to it later and think, oh, why didn't I leave that how it was? So that's where the knife can come in, and you can scrape it away lightly, to scrape the colour pencil away to reveal the white of the paper again, and it's really useful. I do use a sanded eraser to take the coloured pencil off, and it's a great tool, but sometimes it won't take it off all the way. The coloured pencil still stains the paper, and you can use that to your advantage because you can colour really dark and then rub it off, and then you can get the right shade that you want. But if you're someone who's made a mistake and you want to get that coloured pencil off without throwing the entire artwork in the bin, then definitely get yourself a craft knife, but I would be gentle with it. Don't go too heavy with it because you'll go straight through the paper, obviously. Go light and scrape that coloured pencil off to reveal the white underneath. You can draw hair with it, you can create like little white dots everywhere to reveal sweat and stuff like that, so it is a really useful tool, and I would recommend that everybody should buy one that's using coloured pencil. So on reflection, definitely the best portrait I've drawn so far in terms of skin texture and realism. I'm really happy about that. There are a few things where I would love to go in and change them from my own, personal perfection side of things, but hey ho, let's move on and do something else. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and comment, and thank you very much for watching.